So in this video I'm going to be going over how I built this dart frog tank for my trio of Anthony's dart frogs. We raised these guys from little tadpoles. We've now got quite a few tadpoles and a few froglets in this tank. All are doing really well. This is kind of a different dart frog tank. As you can see, the front is water. So I'm going to go over how I built this tank, what's in here, what's gone well, what's kind of gone wrong, kind of the best ways to set up dart frogs, and how this was kind of a bit of an experiment. So stay tuned. So firstly is the size of the tank. It's a Exoterra 45, 45, 60. And then as lighting, we've got Arcadia Jungle Dawn, and we have a fan set at the back and cling film on the top. This is to keep the humidity in, so it's pretty much 3/4 cling film. Then there's a fan there just to give a bit of extra airflow. There was a lot of mold when I first set this up without the this little dude's doing some. There was a lot of mold when I didn't have the fan on. So adding the fan, it comes on every 15 minutes. For 15 minutes every like 2 hours, and it is perfect. So there's no mold really, and it's absolutely perfect. So why this tank is a bit of an experiment is obviously it's got a water front. A lot of people say do not do that with dart frogs. It isn't the best thing to do. I wanted a front of the tank to be water. So I kind of made it in a way that the dart frogs are safe in here. So they can get out if they jump in. They've done it many times. There was a snail there. But the reason it's an experiment is I saw one video on it. I kind of wanted to do half water, half land, but kind of an easy way to do it. And the easiest way that I found was putting filter foam just behind the lava rock here, and then putting like a cross section in. So the back of the tank, I'll throw a photo up so you can see what I mean. The back of the tank has got a filter in one half underneath all of this, with lava rock over the top of it, broken up. The other side in the middle here has also got lava rock and a bit of filter foam in. It's just a drainage layer, but the filter is in there and I can't access it. You can kind of hear the filter if you listen closely. Maybe I'll hear it. But there is a filter in there. You cannot see it, and you obviously can't see the filter foam. It is just pure lava rock. So why did I do that? Well, it's made it a little bit easier in actually having a... There's a tadpole doing some stuff. It's kind of made it easier in doing a full water, well, a half water, half ground paludarium. It means that I haven't had to fully silicone off areas and things like that. I've just put a bit of filter foam in. I silicone the filter foam in, but obviously you don't have to do too precise. I think it was fine filter foam, which means that the stuff can pass through it. Obviously the water can pass through. The particles, like the poo particles you can see down here, and all in any waste basically stays in this side of the tank. The filter is kind of pushing the water down very slowly, so you can see the top, like it's not, I can't remember the type of plant it is, honestly. It's not duckweed. It's similar to duckweed. It's like a smaller version. But it is pushing the water around, and it's kind of oxygenating it. But this is also filtering the water in here, because lava rock is a natural filter. It harbors beneficial bacteria. Obviously the filter I can't access. I can access it if I remove literally everything, get to it. But the whole point is I don't need to. So we'll see how it goes in about a year's time. This tank has been running now for 6 months, and I've had no issues whatsoever. I've actually added species of plants, taken pups off bromeliads, because this one is from the one over here. Where is it? That one. There. And then the one down here is from this guy here. And this is kind of like the staple piece of the tank. But that was kind of it. So I just put a layer of lava rock in the front. And I've put some lava rock around the sides, you can kind of tell. And there's a stick coming out of it. I kind of wanted it, you can see there's a couple of sticks, but I kind of wanted it to be a little bit barer. There's moss growing around it, you can see, it looks really nice. This peacock fern is absolutely stunning. That is one of the best plants ever. And you can also see the lava rock in the front and all the plants. They're all doing really well. There is a bit of this, I think it's black algae or something, I can't remember. So I need to remove that. And that's due to a lack of airflow. That was after I added the fan set. But it is doing okay. But yeah, the dart frogs, when they jump in, there are branches for them to get out of, and the rocks. Obviously, they can definitely get out of here, and they can obviously get out the sides of the tank as well. This isn't just like a one big wall. There's rocks on here, but because the plant's growing over, it's really hard to tell. But they're like stepping stones. But obviously, they can definitely get out because we've had froglets coming out of the water, and I've seen the dart frogs when they start panicking. If you open the doors and throw some food in, they might panic, jump in the water, and then they just like splash around to get out. They're completely fine. So that's kind of like the experimental part, but then actually building the tank itself, I think this tank has done really, really well. I wanted a lot of biodiversity in this tank. Obviously, pretty much most dart frogs, they're coming from the most diverse place on Earth, or on land. The Amazon rainforest. These guys are Ecuadorian, I believe. So they're coming from a very diverse place. It's quite bare along the floor. You just see it's just leaf litter. There's a jeweled orchid here. There's a couple of species of phillies. There's another jeweled orchid. This is the original jeweled orchid, which was in a previous tank, which didn't do great. But it managed to get this guy off it, which I planted and was very, very small. And I mean, you can see this is a brand new leaf, and look how stunning that leaf is. It is absolutely insane. The peacock moss, I'll put up some photos. This was tiny when this was in here. I literally planted it just there, and it's kind of spread across the tank, and the bit that was there died off, and now it's just amazing. I mean, you can see how stunning it is. It is absolutely insane. There is a Markgravia species, which has, I mean, it's up here. Literally, it's just taken over that species. It's insane. We've got also this Markgravia species here, which is absolutely ginormous compared to what it was. It literally started off down here, and now it's all the way up here. I believe it's called Rainbow or something. I can't remember. But it literally goes from like these red colours as the plant matures. It goes to this nice green. You can see the leaves are getting bigger. It slowed down in growth because this Anthurium leaf popped out, and the original leaf died. But the actual stem of this and the roots and stuff of the system is getting really, really big. So the plant is doing really well. I mean, you can see the size of it. It's the same size as my hand, which is absolutely insane considering the leaf of that originally was this big. It was literally like a portion of the size. So it's kind of blocking a lot of light for the Markgravia. Markgravias do really well in like quite fairly intense light. I ordered some bromeliads for this tank, and the kind of whole statement I wanted was that. And obviously being directly underneath the jungle dawn is literally just turned the entire thing red, which is absolutely insane. When you look at this tank, I mean, that is the first thing you notice, 100%. Like, it is absolutely insane. Other plants that are in here, we've got, I think, 3 species of bromeliads. There's one up there, one here, or 4. There's one here which is like this purple. This has been underneath the light. That was originally green with a few flecks of purple. Now it's mainly purple with a few flecks of green. This is obviously a pup from that one. This is obviously a pup from that one. I kind of cut them off and put them back in. I will probably use these in something else, but I don't have any bins at the moment for growing plants. So it is currently just vibing inside the tank. Ficus pumila, you can see it is growing everywhere. I love how this stuff grows. If you're looking for a plant to just kind of cover a wall, that is the best plant to use. I have more projects on the way, but I have 4 plants of Ficus pumila. A couple are going to be going in the glass frog viv, and then a couple will be going into this one. Mosses, and I'm kind of going up. I can't remember the name of this plant, but this is one taken out of our glass frog tank, which was the leaves were originally this big, kept taking cuttings, and it is absolutely ginormous now. But you can see there is a variegate alocasia, which has just popped out this new leaf. That's new. And then this larger leaf as well. This plant has been very up and down. This is the biggest leaf it's produced. I've been throwing it in and out of places to kind of keep it alive. So I kind of put it in here, see how it's doing. There's a frog. It's not going to focus, but there is a frog. What else is around here? Morphycus pumila. There's another species of philodendron at the back. There is this another species of philid here as well. You can kind of see behind everything. It goes up to the top. You can see the trichansias up there as well. I had to remove a lot of the trichansias that were here. Actually, I removed all of them. That's a lie. There's more Markgravia coming across here. And this begonia species is probably one of my favourite plants. It is just so pretty. And it is growing really well. When I put it in there, it was like this tall. And you can see it's grown massive. Obviously, it's got a background as well. So this is an expanding foam background. It kind of has a ledge coming out here with a planter. It's got another planter at the back, which did have a oak leaf creeping fig, which I believe might have died off because this Anthurium has developed this giant leaf, which is just, again, outrageous. Like I say, I wanted tons of plants because where these guys are from, there are tons of plants in just small snippets of spaces. Like per square inch, there's hundreds of species. So that's kind of what I wanted to replicate. It's obviously not too much. There's not loads and loads and loads of stuff going on, but it's very green. And every time you look, there are more species of plants. That's kind of how I wanted it to be. You can see that the bromeliads. It's going to focus. Bromeliads here. This is their main spot. The male are always sitting here. You can see they've just had some eggs. That's another. You see they've just put some tadpoles in here. That's what I should have said, not eggs. So yeah, the background, it kind of has a ledge that comes out with plants that they can potted plants in. Also this side there was cork, which I used to pot this thing, which has also grown very wild. And there's another Ficus pumila growing up the side. Another plant pot which has the Anthurium in it. There's another pup coming off this bromeliad, that's new. It's actually got some roots coming off it as well, that's pretty cool. There's bits of driftwood at the back. And obviously there's some isopods. The substrate in here is literally just Exoterra's substratum. I found that to be the best thing, honestly. Dart frogs need to make sure that they're not really on substrate because too much substrate stuck to them can stress them out. And for high stress species, these guys are quite easy. They're like one of the most laid back. They breed like rabbits. They're quite an easy species, dart frog, when you like in the terms of things. They're not like a histrionica or anything like that. So I'm not too worried about these guys. They're not overly stressy. Whereas a lot of dart frog species, if they get substrate and stuff stuck to them, they can stress out quite easily. Whereas these guys won't. But there is a thick layer of moss, thick layer of leaf litter. There's plants everywhere. The dart frog surprised me is when they was in here, or when they went in here, they climbed way more than I thought they would. And they're very rarely on the ground, unless they're hunting. And that one looks like it does be hunting. It just kind of plonked itself. Hi, what are you doing? Dart frog tanks are fairly simple to make. You just got to make sure the humidity is high. Got to make sure there is airflow in it though, because you will get mold, and as soon as you get mold in there, one, it might kill your animals, and two, it'll kill everything else in there. So you want to make sure it doesn't kill any springtails, isopods, anything like that. So having a fan on there meant that obviously there's no mold. All the plants are doing really, really well. You'll see what kind of does work and what doesn't. There was other species of plants in here which just didn't do very well at all. Kind of kept adding plants as well. There was a different species of philodendron at the back which pumped out a leaf that was way too big. I'm scared that if another leaf like this comes out, I don't know what's going to happen. The trichansias grow like crazy. Obviously, I know that when I put them in here, but I kind of want something else, because those trichansias down here, I just took some cuttings, and they took over this whole side, and it didn't look very good. So I prefer how the Ficus pumila looks. So it's kind of trial and error. These tanks are absolutely amazing. Like, this is an absolutely stunning tank to just have, and the dart frogs seem to be doing really well with this. Obviously water isn't fully recommended for dart frogs, but these guys don't seem to mind it. They seem to be doing really well with it. They have no issues. They keep dropping all their tadpoles in here. When we last counted, there was about 60, and there are way more froglets in here. Actually, there's one chilling up there. No, I don't know if you're able to see it. Right there is a froglet. There you go. So that's one of our older froglets. It's near enough fully grown, actually. It's not fully got all its colour, but it has got its stripes. They come out and they're tiny. But yeah, this tank has done really well, all things considered. There was more stuff in here. Originally, there was a piece of wood that we've found. It had moss. It was decaying. And it seems all the isopods and springtails that are in here have literally just eaten it. Which is kind of the point of it, to be honest. But yeah, I hope everyone enjoyed. Hope this has helped. It's really not hard to set up a dart frog tank. Everyone thinks it's going to be the worst thing in the entire world. This was an experiment, and it worked. I've seen one video of somebody doing it a very similar way. And I will probably do it again. If anyone needs a tutorial on how to do it, that is completely fine. Let me know, and I will happily do one. Thank you very much for watching this video. I hope this has helped. If this has inspired you to create your own dart frog enclosure, please let me know down in the comments. Please follow us on social media at Nothing But Reptiles on Facebook, Instagram and TikTok, where you can keep up to date with what we are doing. So thank you very much for watching, and I hope you enjoy.